Anyways, the era of women is over. From what I heard, 9 out of the 12 picks for Glamour's Women of the Year, the dolls, 9 out of 10 of them were biologically male before they transitioned. So, to give you a statistic, that would basically be you have you have a 3/4 chance of getting into Woman of the Year if you transition at some point in your life. But if you're a biological woman, you have a literal 25% chance of getting into Woman of the Year, apparently. Well, let's get quickly into this. I grew up in an era when mainstream women's magazines told girls they needed to be thinner and prettier. Yep. Now mainstream women's magazines tell girls that men are better women than they are. Yep. Of course. Of course. But yeah. Anyways, you can see transitioned pretty much all of them. Yeah. But let's get into the general gist of it. I'm not gonna go too far. But Demi Moore, let's see, Demi Moore, actress. Okay, actress. I'm not even gonna read these descriptions. I'm not I'm not too interested in them. Let's see. Okay, she was a singer. We got Saga Babes. So a music trio for 25-year legacy and revival. Okay. Awawa. I'm not even gonna begin. Let's see. What was she? Actress and model. Okay. Next. Rachel Zegler. Yeah. Everyone knows what happened with Snow White. But long story short, it was like a 50-50 fault split where she was a big reason for the movie screwing up, and Disney was a big reason for letting her ruin the movie as well as everybody else. Like, let's be honest. Because, like, her role in the movie being bad was a part of it. But Disney's role in letting her do whatever she wanted shows that at least they had a huge amount of, a huge amount of like complacency in it. Like they either allowed her to do it or they were totally on board with it. But yeah, Rachel Zegler, Woman of the Year. Yeah, that's okay. That one was just a bad pick. Okay, let's see. Hannah Hampton, Lioness, Gatekeeper, saving lives in England's Euro competition. Okay, I'll actually give her some respect. Let's see. Goalkeeper who saved Lioness from defeat to become crowned European champions in July, who was honored on our Sportswoman of the Moment. Just 24 years old, Hampton already achieved more than many professional footballers achieve in a lifetime, including named the world's best female goalkeeper of 2025 Balloon Dior ceremony. Okay, that one's not bad. The Dolls. Gee, where was the other ones then? Where the fuck was the other one then? What the? Oh, here it is. The Dolls. Now we get into this part. Let's see. As trans rights face increasing a threat in the UK, Glamour honors 9 of the community's most groundbreaking voices this year at Women of the Year's Awards. From fashion and music to charity, activism, and work, these trailblazers work tirelessly to empower, uplift, celebrate trans voices amongst honorees. Were model and activist Danny St. James, who was also chief executive of Not a Phase, a charity for trans adults, and a model author Monroe Bergdorf. The pair took the stage along with the rest of the dolls to accept the award. Yeah. Yeah, what a great set of role models for women. Just be born a man and have the money to transition. And boom, you can win Women of the Year. Oh yeah. Anti-trans sentiment grows around the world, especially the UK. It's heartbreaking and encouraging to see passive allyship evolve into active advocacy. St. James in her speech before Bergdorf asked trans allies to continue speaking up whenever you see it, regardless of who it's happening to. Be that protector, be that person. We keep each other safe, we protect each other. I'm just gonna straight up say it. The reason people hate people like this is not even mainly because they're trans. It's because they want the entire world to change their views, ideologies, religion, and every other aspect of society to basically make it cater towards them and towards their ideology. This is something where it's like what, less than 1% of the total population everywhere basically wants to have total and utter power over the other 99%, strangling them into this worldview. This is the big reason why people are super against this stuff. And then it comes to the bathroom stuff as well, which is we've been doing this stuff for thousands of years, and now it's suddenly like something we got to worry about. And let's be honest, the whole point of the trans stuff is we don't care that you got transitions in the first place. But most people are angry about the weird child grooming stuff, the weird activist stuff that revolves around being half naked around children, the forcibly injecting it into schools, the forcibly going to events, having people forcibly be have to cater towards your feeling and your reality. Like the whole thing is like simple. Like here's something here's something. Like, I like something called low taxes. I don't enforce my reality on everybody else by saying, "Oh, you have to be mindful of my preference towards." It's like, no, no. That's the problem why people are so annoyed by these guys. It's it's annoying. It's basically it's super annoying entitled behavior that the entire world must cater to you. And let's be honest, this is the biggest problem with this. That and forcibly injecting themselves into women's spaces. Let's be honest, whenever a transgender transitions into usually women's sports, they always win, they always dominate, and it's become a joke. It's become a joke at that point, which is real women, when a man transitions into a woman, always lose. Like these people always hit number one in pretty much any sport they go from, whether it's chess, whether it's swimming, whether it's boxing. Like the moment a man transitions to a woman, it gives them a very unfair advantage that makes the actual female competition struggle and fail to compete. And yep, that's my rant. But I'm just super disappointed by this last part because the list was gonna be trash anyways. But forcibly injecting a dying ideology. Also, the forced. Also, before I leave, the another big thing was also the forced transitioning of children when they're under the age of 18. Because like that part is just disgusting. That part is predatory, and that part is, I'm gonna say it quite frankly, evil. Because the whole idea is like you can't get a tattoo, you can't drink, you can't go to the military. Hell, you can't even buy a knife. You can't buy drugs. You literally can't do shit when you're a kid. But forcibly injecting puberty blockers into you, like when you're that age, like when you're 5, 6, 7, all in order to like have parents tell people how good they are and how like tolerant they are by forcibly changing their kids' lives permanently that may permanently, ruin their lives. That's always been the problem. And so many of these people, like, they're happy to look over all the bad side effects of it just because they want you to be forcibly injected into this idea. But yeah. Well, that's all. It's just man, this is trash. Absolute trash.